to the Black Hollow National Preserve never come back. Not once. We get hundreds of them every season. Families in rental SUVs, backpackers with expensive gear, and couples looking for quiet trails. They roll through the gate excited. They ask about our overlooks, the waterfalls, and the canyon trail. They take pictures by the welcome sign, and they promise they'll come back next summer. But they never do. No social media posts, no online reviews, and no travel blogs. If you search for Black Hollow online, you won't find anything. No website, no park listing, and no trail maps. To the outside world, Black Hollow doesn't exist, which means one question keeps me awake at night. If the park isn't on my map, how do people keep finding it? I started working here 3 months ago, a seasonal ranger. Patrol the trails, help visitors, and close the gates, and sometimes check the boundary markers. The senior rangers are weird about those. They don't explain what they do, they just tell you to make sure they're still standing. Tall iron poles hammered in the ground along the edge of the preserve. There are hundreds of them, and every few weeks, one of them moves. No one questions it, they just hammer it back where it belongs. That's the first thing I noticed about Black Hollow. Strange things happen here, but nobody talks about them. Plants grow overnight. You'll clear a trail in the morning, and by sunset, the forest has swallowed it again. Sometimes hikers turn in items they find in the dirt. Old IDs, old coins. Once someone brought in a cell phone that was still recording video. The footage was just 10 minutes of someone running through the woods, screaming. We couldn't identify who it belonged to, and there was no missing person ever matched it. The other ranger shrugged it and locked it in a drawer. That's the second thing I noticed about this place. Everyone here pretends not to care. Except me. I hate not knowing things, so I started asking questions. The chief ranger, Marlowe, shut me down immediately. You're new, she told me. Stay busy and don't dig around. Why? I asked. Because curiosity is what gets people stuck here. That's when she walked away like that sentence made perfect sense. A few days later, I drove into a nearby town, Ashford. It's the kind of place built entirely around tourism. Hotels with neon signs, old diners, and souvenir shops. But something about the town felt off. Nobody mentioned the park, not once. 3 local museums had exhibits about lodging, railroads, and mining, and none of them talked about the massive wilderness preserve right outside town. It was like Black Hollow didn't exist there. That's when I overheard something strange. A man at the diner counter told the waitress, I came here last year, had to see the place again. The waitress froze, and just for a second, then she forced a smile. I hope you enjoy your stay. But I noticed the way she watched him leave, like she was seeing a ghost. I followed him to the parking lot and introduced myself as a ranger. Offered to give him a guided tour of the preserve. He hesitated long enough that I thought he'd say no, but eventually he nodded. Sure, he said, I'd like that. The drive started normal. We talked about his job, his kids, fishing, but whenever I asked about his last visit to the park, he got confused. You said you came here before, I reminded him. He rubbed his forehead. I think I did? You don't remember? Not really. The closer we got to Black Hollow, the worse he looked. His breathing sped up, and his fingers started tapping against the door. Then he whispered something. Turn around. I pretended not to hear, and the park entrance came into view. He started shaking. Turn around. I kept driving, and the moment we crossed the welcome sign, he screamed. Blood started leaking from his eyes. Actual tears of blood. He clawed at the door handle. I can't go back. Before I could stop him, he jumped out of the moving truck, and he hit the road hard and staggered away toward town. I followed him for miles, and he ignored me. He wouldn't look at me and wouldn't answer. It's like I didn't exist. 2 hours later, he walked into a motel room and shut the door. The only proof he'd ever been in my truck was the blood on my seat. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it, about what he screamed. I can't go back? Back where? I tried calling one of the other rangers, Lena. She'd quit suddenly the day before, packed up and left without saying goodbye to anyone. I wanted to ask if she knew anything. My phone rang once, twice, 3 times. Then I heard a ringtone inside my cabin. I checked the couch cushions and pulled out Lena's phone, still ringing and still connected to my call. That's when the realization hit me. Visitors don't come back to Black Hollow. But maybe that's not the truth. Maybe some of them never leave. And if Lena's phone was here, that meant one thing. She never left either. The door to my cabin creaked open behind me, and a voice I recognized whispered from the dark, "Please tell me you didn't move the boundary markers."